One of the most fundamental aspects for a game to be fun or not, in my opinion, is the core gameplay. In that aspect, Halo Infinite absolutely excels. Shooting feels tight, feels responsive. Auto-aim can be a tad bit strong when using a controller, but you better get used to it because there's no option to turn it off. None that I found anyway. Shooting actually kind of reminds me of Destiny. The different array of weapons at your disposal here is absolutely fantastic. If you want to snipe, snipe. If you want to get up close and personal, there's weapons for that. If you want to smash dudes, well, you get the idea. One of the greatest strengths in Infinite is how they've enabled you to choose a loadout at any number of outposts you capture throughout your playthrough. Don't think of it as a hub world. Far Cry. You're not forced to walk. No, get in, choose your shit, and run out. It's fast, it's efficient. Although, you do have to wait for a few seconds while your chosen guns pop up or your preferred vehicle is dropped off. A weapon rack would have been more ideal, but that's just nitpicking. A vehicle that just spawns would have been better instead of waiting for your pilot to drop it off, but again, I'm nitpicking. After you pick your tools, it's off you go to tackle whatever objectives you want in any order you want. Don't want to do side missions? That's fine, just do the story ones, but you'll be missing out on fast travel locations and upgrade points for your armor abilities. Actually, pretty sure you can just go and grab the armor abilities because they sit around in little crates, but you will be missing out on fast travel locations, which those are the places enable you to get your gear and your vehicles and stuff like that. You can upgrade your grapple shot, which is in my opinion one of the best additions to the game. Upgrade your shield for your armor, upgrade your ping, which enables you to see cloaked enemies, upgrade your deployable shield, which enables you to temporarily hide from gunfire and get some much needed shield regen while you fire your enemies. Upgrade your boost ability, which enables you to boost from side to side. I'm using the word enables too much. You're not going to get the boost until a little later in the game. It's kind of like Halo 5. Actually, it's exactly like Halo 5. You remember the boost in Halo 5? Anyways, when you combo the boost with the grapple, you can get around very fast. And that's if you don't have a vehicle. Bring some Marines with you before a gunfight. They're going to die, but they'll definitely kill a few enemies for you first, unless you want to get cheap and just equip them all with rocket launchers. You'll see some videos on YouTube of people doing this. Graphics are super sharp, man. Textures look surprisingly detailed up close. Is it the best looking open world game? Of course not. But it's super sharp, and it's running at 4K 60 FPS on the Series X, 1080p 60 FPS on the Series S. I actually think Digital Foundry said it's running at a higher res on Xbox One X than it is on the S. It's 60 FPS, which makes no sense. 1080p 30 FPS on standard Xbox One, which is pretty much the worst console ever made, so pretty sure nobody's playing on that, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. The gameplay you are currently looking at was captured on my PC at 1440p at around 80 to 100 FPS, with some stutters here and there. Nothing too major. You can also play on Series X at 1440p 120 FPS if your TV or monitor support it, but it's not going to be a locked 120 FPS. Look, one of my biggest beefs with the Halo franchise in general, I would always get a cool-looking military rifle, only to run out of ammo 2 minutes later and have to pick up some ridiculous-looking alien weapon. Looks like a hairdryer or something stupid like that. Infinite solves that. There's ammo caches all over the place, too. It's called Kinetic Ammo, and it kept me using the new battle rifle and the 3-round burst rifle for about 75% of the game. I shit you not. Can I explain to you how huge that was for me? Being able to use the guns I wanted to use for the amount of time I wanted to use them is absolutely huge in a Halo game. I love it. I will say this. 343 has really modernized the look and sound of all the weapons, including the alien ones. So much so that I really didn't even mind using them this time. Hell, some of them are super powerful and fun to use. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Pretty sure there's a couple of new ones, but I can't be sure because, I don't really use the alien guns in the Halo games anyways, and when I do, I'm sulking, so I cast it out of my memory. But the new battle rifle, I know that's a new battle rifle, and that sucker looks super sweet. I use that. Whenever I came across that, I used it. Whenever I had a loadout, that was in my loadout. Sound design. Look here. The sound design is top notch. 343 has without a doubt some of the best sound design in the business. Everything sounds powerful. Everything feels impactful. Remember how pathetic the assault rifle sounded in Halo 3? Or how about some of the handguns in the Call of Duty games? Fear not. Everything in this game sounds exceptional. Physics are great. The way enemies react are great. The way headshots sound when the little X pops up, that sounds great. You can smash bodies while they're dead on the ground and they react accordingly. You can actually smash the armor off of their bodies while they're on the ground, while they're dead on the ground. Armor pops off while you're shooting them in certain spots. Sadly, there's no bullet holes that show on the enemies when you shoot them, but I wouldn't have expected that for this game, this kind of game anyway. Blood is very scarce too. Apparently Halo 1 had a lot of blood. Yeah, not this one. Very disappointing, but you know, again, I wasn't expecting it. The map layout is kind of strange. Like, it was built more for you to navigate with your grappling hook as opposed to using vehicles. Now see, there's thin roads scattered throughout the entire map, ones that you can drive on, but you gotta stay on them. Or you're going to bump into something like a tree or a rock or something like that, and it's going to stop you dead in your tracks. Very annoying. I would have liked some more wide open spaces without so much shit in the way so I could better utilize some of my vehicles. As far as bugs, glitches, it's relatively glitch-free. I saw one enemy freeze in place. I had one hard crash that sent me back about 10 minutes. No big deal. Oh, and Cortana looked like her eyeballs were jumping up and down a few times. Plus her teeth look a little strange. Other than that, I mean, like the pilot looks good in the cutscenes. The Banished look good in the cutscenes. Master Chief, he looks freaking awesome. I miss Halo 4 Katana. I love Halo 4 Katana. I'm sorry, did you say Cortana? Yeah, I meant Cortana. I played this campaign on Heroic, and I got my ass kicked. Oh my gosh. People, I died a bunch. If you're a mediocre player like me, you're going to die a bunch. But the checkpoints are so damn generous. Or generous, it's really not a big deal. They're almost too generous, if that even makes any sense. But I'd rather them be too generous than too punishing. Returnal. Story's okay. The pilot can be kind of annoying, but he's somewhat likable. The new Cortana, she's adorable, but again, I miss Halo 4 Cortana. The main antagonist, you know what, man? I'll talk to you guys later. The main antagonist is actually pretty likable. He recognizes Master Chief's skills and gives him the respect he deserves. Master Chief is quiet as usual, but drops a bunch of smooth one-liners that actually made me smile a few times. Combine that with how great some of the shit that you can do is while playing the game, you start to feel like you are the Master Chief. So lame. Alright, so let's wrap it. Infinite lets you play how you want to play. The pace is dictated depending on what you want to do, and player choice is never a bad thing. In fact, that should be the priority. I personally love the open world. I love the combat. The AI can be questionable, but then super intelligent depending on what scenario you're in. Some deaths feel cheap. Here's looking at you, jackal snipers that can snipe you from 2 miles out while you're mid-grapple, but a lot of the time I feel like my deaths were my fault for rushing in. The game gets a bit more linear toward the end and drags a little bit, but I really enjoyed the boss fight with the main antagonist. The one afterwards, not so much. This is a quality title, people. I think 343 nailed it and really don't have a whole lot to complain about, which is rare. I don't have a lot to complain about is what I'm saying. If I were to score this game, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It replaces Resident Evil 8 as my new game of the year. And there you have it. So if you're on the fence, if this gameplay doesn't look good to you, you're probably not going to like the game. But that's all I got for you. I'll holler at you guys later. How about that, huh? I finally got to do a game review. What is that? Like my second game review for 2021? That's bad news. I'll holler at you guys later.
It's controlled up in the central structure.
Chief, the scanner just lit up. It was a trap. I knew it was a trap. What do I do?
Hold position. I've got this.